The ship landed with a gentle thud on the purple grass of Kepler 442b. Lee Daeho pressed his face against the small window and gasped. Crystal towers reached toward twin suns, their surfaces gleaming like diamonds. Strange plants with silver leaves swayed in the alien breeze. After 3 months of space travel, they had finally arrived at the Kytherian homeworld. "Remember, this is humanity's first chance," Commander Yoon Ji-woo said, checking her uniform one last time. "Everything we do here matters for Earth's future." Daeho nodded nervously. As the team's language expert, he carried the heaviest burden. One wrong word could ruin everything. He had studied Kytherian language files for years, but real conversation was different from computer simulations. Park So-young, their alien biology expert, was already taking readings with her scanner. "The air is safe, sir," she announced. "But the gravity is lighter than Earth. We might feel a bit floaty." The ship's doors opened with a hiss. Warm, sweet-smelling air rushed in. It reminded Daeho of cherry blossoms mixed with ocean breeze. They stepped onto solid ground for the first time in months. A group of tall figures waited for them near the landing pad. Daeho's breath caught in his throat. The Kytherians were even more beautiful than the photos suggested. They stood nearly 7 feet tall, with long, graceful limbs and skin that shimmered with soft colors. Their faces were elegant, with large eyes that seemed to hold starlight. The lead Kytherian stepped forward. Her skin shifted from pale blue to warm gold as she moved. "Welcome, beings from Earth," she said in perfect English. "I am Velnara of the Crystal Gardens. My people greet you with joy." Commander Yoon bowed respectfully. "We are honored to be here. I am Commander Yoon Ji-woo, and this is my team." Velnara's eyes lingered on Daeho as introductions were made. Her skin flickered with curious purple patterns when she learned he was their language specialist. "You speak our tongue?" she asked, switching to Kytherian. Daeho's heart raced. This was his moment. He tried to say something polite about being honored to learn their beautiful language, but the words came out wrong. Instead of honored guest, he accidentally said something that made Velnara's entire body flush deep violet. The other Kytherians stepped back in surprise. Some made soft whistling sounds. Velnara stared at Daeho with wide eyes. I'm sorry," Daeho stammered in English. "Did I say something wrong?" Velnara's skin continued shifting between violet and gold. She looked confused and pleased at the same time. "You called me, but humans don't know that word. Where did you learn it?" "Learn what?" Daeho looked helplessly at his teammates. Commander Yoon frowned with concern. "You said Velthara," Velnara whispered. Her voice held wonder. "But it is very old, very special." An elderly Kytherian with silver markings on his dark skin stepped forward. "Young one, what game is this? Humans cannot know the ancient tongue." "But he spoke it, Grandfather Mordain," Velnara said. "I heard him clearly." Daeho felt sweat on his forehead. "Please, I meant no offense. I'm still learning your language. Sometimes I mix up words." The elderly Kytherian, apparently Velnara's grandfather, studied Daeho with sharp eyes. "Show me your studies, human. What teachers prepared you?" Commander Yoon stepped closer to Daeho. "Is there a problem? We came in peace." "No problem," Velnara said quickly. Her skin had settled to a soft pink color. "But your friend speaks words that surprise us." "Good surprise," she added, looking directly at Daeho. "Say it again." "Say what again?" "The word you said. Velthara." Her skin brightened as she spoke it. Daeho looked around at the watching faces. All the Kytherians seemed focused on him with intense interest. He didn't understand what was happening, but he didn't want to cause more confusion. "Velthara?" he repeated carefully. Velnara's skin bloomed with golden light. She smiled, and her teeth were like small pearls. "Yes, like that." The other Kytherians began whispering among themselves in rapid musical tones. Grandfather Mordain's expression grew more serious. "We should continue to the council chambers," he said finally. "There will be time for language lessons later." As they walked toward the Crystal City, Velnara stayed close to Deho. "Your world must be very different from ours," she said in English. "Very different," Deho agreed. "But beautiful things exist everywhere, I think." Her skin flickered with pleased colors. "You think our world is beautiful?" "Of course. The crystals, the colors, the plants. And your people are." He paused, searching for the right English word. "Graceful, elegant." Velnara made a soft sound like musical laughter. "You are kind, Deho of Earth." They entered the city through gates made of singing crystal. The streets were wide and clean, with fountains that sprayed colored water into the air. Catherian citizens stopped to stare at the human visitors. Their skin rippled with curious blues and greens. "They have never seen humans before," Velnara explained. "Some feared you would be ugly or dangerous, but you are neither." "What do they think now?" Park So-young asked. "They think you are smaller than expected, but interesting, especially your skin that stays the same color." Commander Yoon smiled. "We find your color changing very beautiful. It's like wearing your emotions." "Yes, exactly," Velnara said. "We cannot lie with our skin. What you see is what we feel." They reached a magnificent building with towers that seemed to grow from the ground like trees. Inside, the walls glowed with soft light. A large chamber held dozens of Catherians, all dressed in flowing robes that matched their skin colors. "The High Council will hear your words," Grandfather Morden announced. "But first we must understand something." He looked directly at Deho. "Where did you truly learn the old tongue?" Deho felt all eyes on him. "I studied from computer files Earth received in your first message. I memorized thousands of words, but I know I make mistakes." "Computer files do not contain Velthara," another council member said. "That word was not spoken for 300 seasons." "Then how did I say it?" Deho asked. Velnara stepped forward. "Perhaps," she said softly. "Some words find their way to those who need them." Her grandfather's eyes narrowed. "Or perhaps there is more to these humans than we know." The council chamber fell silent. Deho realized that his simple language mistake had created a mystery that could change everything about humanity's first contact with an alien species. 3 days had passed since the humans arrived, and the trade talks were not going well. Commander Yoon sat in her temporary quarters, reading reports that made her frown. The Catherian Council kept asking strange questions about Earth's intentions. They seemed suspicious of everything. "They act like we're hiding something," she told Park So-young over breakfast. "But we've shared all our technology data and cultural information." Park nodded, chewing on a fruit that tasted like sweet metal. "Maybe they're just careful. First contact is scary for everyone." Across the dining hall, Deho sat alone, studying his language notes. He looked tired. Every conversation with the Catherians seemed to create new confusion. "Deho," Commander Yoon called. "Join us. You look like you haven't slept." He came over with his plate of strange alien food. "I keep trying to figure out what that word means. Velthara. None of my files mention it." "Have you asked Velnara directly?" Deho's face turned red. "That's the problem. She keeps finding me. Yesterday she showed up 3 times. This morning she was waiting outside my room with flowers." Park So-young raised an eyebrow. "Flowers?" "Strange blue ones that make music when you touch them. She said they were friendship flowers, but..." He shrugged helplessly. "But what?" "The other Catherians act weird around us now. They whisper and stare. Some look angry. I think I offended someone important, but I don't know how." Commander Yoon set down her cup. "This could affect the trade negotiations. If we accidentally insulted their culture..." "I don't think it's an insult," Deho said. "Velnara seems happy about it. Too happy. It's everyone else who looks upset." Before anyone could respond, soft footsteps approached their table. Velnara appeared, carrying a small crystal box. Her skin showed nervous yellow patterns mixed with excited pink ones. "Good morning, friends from Earth," she said in English. "Deho," I brought you something. She placed the box on the table. Inside lay a necklace made of tiny singing crystals. It was beautiful, but clearly expensive and personal. Velnara, I can't accept this, Deho said. It's too much. Her skin dimmed to disappointed blue. You do not like it? I like it very much. But where I come from, gifts like this have special meaning. I don't want to give the wrong impression. What impression would it give? Deho looked helplessly at his teammates. How could he explain human dating customs to an alien? Park So-young cleared her throat. On Earth, expensive jewelry usually means romantic interest, like choosing a mate. Velnara's skin went through a rapid series of colors, surprise, confusion, then bright golden joy. Choosing a mate? Is that what Velthara means to humans? What? Deho nearly choked on his food. No, I don't even know what it means. But Velnara wasn't listening. She clasped her hands together, skin glowing with happiness. I must tell grandfather. This explains everything. She hurried away before anyone could stop her. Oh no, Commander Yoon said. This is getting complicated. An hour later, they found out just how complicated. Grandfather Moradane requested an immediate meeting with all three humans. They were escorted to a private chamber filled with ancient books and glowing artifacts. Sit, the elderly Catherian commanded. His skin showed dark, serious colors. They sat on cushions that adjusted to their bodies automatically. I have researched your words, human Deho, Moradane said. Velthara is from our oldest language. It means beautiful beyond compare or worthy of deep love. We have not used it for 3 centuries because it is sacred. Deho felt his stomach drop. Sacred how? It is spoken only when choosing a life partner. When a Catherian says Velthara to another, they declare serious, romantic intention. Commander Yoon leaned forward. Sir, it was clearly a mistake. Deho was trying to compliment your architecture, not make romantic declarations. Yet he spoke the word, and my granddaughter heard it. What does that mean exactly? Park So-young asked. Mordane's skin patterns grew darker. It means either your people know our most sacred customs and Deho spoke with purpose, or you are liars who somehow learned forbidden words. We're not liars, Commander Yoon said firmly. Our mission is honest trade and friendship. Then explain how he knew Velthara. Deho stood up, frustration overcoming his nervousness. I don't know. I studied your language files for years. Maybe I read it somewhere and forgot. Maybe I mixed up sounds from different words. Humans make mistakes. Mistakes, Mordane repeated slowly. Your species makes mistakes with sacred words? We make mistakes with everything, Park So-young said. That's how we learn. Trial and error. The elderly Catherian considered this. Velnara believes you spoke with true feeling. She has requested permission to court you properly. Deho's face went pale. Court me? But we just met? And she's... He gestured helplessly. She's not even human. Love crosses all boundaries, Mordane said. But if you spoke falsely, if you toy with sacred customs for amusement, then humans are not worthy of friendship. Commander Yoon felt anger rising in her chest. We came here in good faith. We've shared our knowledge, our culture, our hopes, for the future. One language mistake doesn't make us unworthy of anything. Perhaps. Or perhaps it reveals truth about your species. What kind of truth? Mordane stood, his tall frame casting shadows in the crystal light. That remains to be seen. But understand this, Velnara is beloved by our people. She is kind, intelligent, and pure of heart. If you have filled her with false hopes, if you mock our sacred ways, there will be consequences. What kind of consequences? Park So-young asked quietly. The kind that end treaties before they begin. After they left the meeting, the 3 humans walked in worried silence through the crystal gardens. Other Catherians watched them pass, their skin showing unfriendly colors. This is bad, Commander Yoon said finally. If we can't fix this, Earth loses its chance for alien technology and trade. It's worse than that, Park So-young added. If they decide we're dishonest or dangerous, they might warn other alien species against us. We could be isolated before we even start exploring space. Deho stopped walking and sat heavily on a crystal bench. This is all my fault. One stupid word and I've ruined everything. Not everything, said a soft voice behind them. They turned to see Velnara approaching. Her skin showed gentle, reassuring colors. Velnara, Deho began. I'm sorry about the confusion. I never meant to. I know, she said, sitting beside him. I have been thinking much about this. Perhaps there is a way to solve our problem. How? She looked at him with those large, starlight eyes. You could take the trials. What? Trials? The Velcurum. Ancient test to prove worthiness for sacred courtship. If you pass, it proves your word was spoken with true heart. If you fail... She paused. If you fail, at least we know you tried honestly. Commander Yoon stepped forward. What happens if he fails? Velnara's skin dimmed sadly. Then humans are asked to leave our world and never return. The great hall filled with hundreds of Catherians, their skins creating a rainbow of nervous and excited colors. Daiho stood in the center, feeling very small and very human. Commander Yoon and Park So-young sat in the front row, their faces tight with worry. Grandfather Mordain rose from his tall chair. His voice echoed through the crystal chamber. We gather for the ancient Velcorum. The human Daiho will face 3 trials to prove his worthiness. The crowd whispered like musical wind through leaves. Many Catherians had never seen a human before, let alone one attempting their sacred trials. The first trial tests the mind, Mordain announced. Can this human understand beauty as we do? A platform rose from the floor, holding 3 objects. One was a perfect crystal sculpture that caught light and threw rainbows. The second was a twisted metal shape, ugly and broken-looking. The third was a simple clay bowl with rough edges. Choose, Mordain commanded. Which holds the greatest beauty, and tell us why. Daiho walked slowly around the platform. The crowd watched in complete silence. The crystal sculpture was obviously meant to be the beautiful choice. It was flawless and bright. But something about the test felt wrong, too simple. He looked at Velnara in the crowd. Her skin showed worried purple patterns, but her eyes encouraged him to think carefully. On my world, Daiho said finally, we have many ideas about beauty. Some people love perfect things like this crystal. It's amazing to look at. He moved to the twisted metal. Some people find beauty in pain and struggle. This metal has been through fire and pressure. It tells a story of surviving hard times. Finally, he picked up the clay bowl. It was warm to the touch and felt good in his hands. But I think this is most beautiful, he said. It's not perfect. Someone made it with their own hands. They left fingerprints in the clay. It's not fancy, but it's real. It was made with love. The hall erupted in whispers. Some Catherians flashed angry red colors. Others showed surprised yellow. Mordain stepped forward. You choose the broken thing over perfection? I choose the human thing, Daiho replied. Where I come from, we love things that are flawed because they remind us of ourselves. We find beauty in imperfection. An old female Catherian in the council spoke up. Interesting. You do not try to match our aesthetics. You offer your own. Because I can't be Catherian, Daiho said simply. I can only be human. But maybe that's enough. Mordain's skin showed thoughtful colors. The first trial is passed. You have shown that your species thinks differently, not wrongly. Now for the trial of body. The floor opened, revealing stairs that led down into darkness. The air that rose from below carried strange music. Crystals singing in harmonies that made human ears ache. The singing crystal maze, Mordain explained. Many Catherians have died in its passages. The crystals create sounds that can stop hearts or shatter minds. You must reach the center and return with the Heartstone. Commander Yoon jumped to her feet. This is too dangerous. You can't send him into something lethal. The trials are sacred, Mordain replied coldly. He chose to take them. Velnara stood up too. Grandfather, please, let me go with him. As a guide. The trials must be faced alone. Deho looked down, into the glowing tunnel. The music grew louder and he felt it trying to pull him in different directions. His inner ear felt confused, like being seasick. I'll do it, he said. But can I have 5 minutes to prepare? Mordain nodded. Park So-young rushed over to him. Listen carefully, she whispered. I've been studying their crystals. They respond to sound frequencies. Don't fight the music, work with it. How? Remember your mother's lullabies. Humans have natural rhythm. Trust your instincts. Commander Yoon grabbed his hand. If it gets too dangerous, come back. We'll find another way. Deho nodded and started down the stairs. The music grew stronger with each step. Soon it felt like hammers pounding his skull. The tunnel branched into multiple paths, each glowing with different colored crystals. He closed his eyes and listened. The chaotic noise slowly became patterns. Each color sang a different note. Red crystals played deep bass sounds. Blue ones sang high and sweet. If he could find the right combination, Deho began to hum his mother's favorite lullaby. The crystals around him flickered, then began matching his tune. The painful discord smoothed into harmony. He followed the sound deeper into the maze, humming constantly. When he reached dead ends, he changed his tune until the crystals showed him new paths. It was like conducting an orchestra made of light and stone. At the center of the maze, a single white crystal the size of his fist sat on a pedestal. The Heartstone. As soon as he touched it, every crystal in the maze sang the same note, pure, beautiful, and perfectly in tune. The journey back was easier. The crystals remembered his song and helped guide him home. When he emerged from the tunnel, the entire hall burst into amazed colors. No Catherian had ever made the crystals sing in harmony before. Impossible, whispered one of the council members. How did he do that? He didn't fight them, Velnara said, her skin bright with joy. He made friends with them. Mordain took the Heartstone with trembling hands. The second trial is past, but now comes the hardest test. A small crystal chair rose from the floor. It looked delicate and beautiful, but something about it made Deho nervous. The trial of the heart, Mordain announced. You must sit in the truth chair and share your deepest feelings. The chair will show everyone here what lies in your soul. If you carry deception or cruelty, all will see it. If you are pure of heart, that too will be revealed. Commander Yoon stood up again. That's an invasion of privacy. No one should be forced to share their private thoughts. Then perhaps humans are not as open as they claim, Mordain replied. Deho looked at the chair, then at Velnara. Her skin showed encouraging gold, but he could see worry in her eyes too. Will it hurt? He asked. Only if you resist the truth, Mordain said. The chair shows what is real. Nothing more, nothing less. Deho took a deep breath and sat down. Immediately, images began appearing in the air above the chair. Everyone could see his memories like watching a movie. His childhood, in Seoul, his mother teaching him languages, his excitement when Earth received the first alien message, his fear during the space journey. Then came deeper feelings. His loneliness, always being the smart kid who didn't fit in. His wonder at seeing the Crystal City. His guilt over causing the diplomatic problems. And then, surprising everyone, including himself, came his feelings about Velnara. Not romantic love, they barely knew each other, but genuine curiosity and admiration. Her intelligence impressed him. Her kindness touched him. Her alien beauty fascinated him. The images showed his hope that maybe, someday, humans and Catherians could be real friends. Not just trading partners, but people who cared about each other across the vast darkness of space. When the images faded, the hall was completely quiet. Deho slumped in the chair, feeling empty and exposed. Mordain's skin had changed to soft, warm colors. The trials are complete, he said quietly. This human has proven himself worthy of our respect. But before anyone could celebrate, alarms began ringing throughout the Crystal City. The alarm stopped, but the great hall buzzed with confused voices. Cytherians rushed to crystal panels that showed images from around their world. Commander Yoon could see the worry in their rapidly changing skin colors. "What's happening?" she called out. A young Cytherian messenger burst into the hall, his skin flashing urgent red patterns. "Ships in the sky. Strange ships coming fast." Grandfather Mordane's face darkened. "Show me." The main viewing crystal lit up with images of sleek black ships approaching the planet. They were nothing like the peaceful human vessel that sat in the landing fields. "Velcorians," someone whispered, and the entire hall filled with fear colors. "Who are the Velcorians?" Park So-young asked Velnara. "Old enemies," Velnara replied, her skin pale with worry. "They have fought our people for generations. They want our crystal technology." Mordane studied the approaching ships with grim eyes. 15 war vessels. Our defenses cannot stop so many. An idea struck Daeho suddenly. "Wait, you said they want your crystal technology?" "Yes. They attack us every few years trying to steal our secrets. But we just proved something important." Daeho stood up, still tired from the trials but thinking clearly. "I made your crystals sing in harmony. What if we could make all the crystals on your planet sing together?" The hall went quiet. Mordane turned to stare at him. "Explain this idea, human." "Your maze crystals responded to human music." Daeho said, excitement growing in his voice. "They matched my rhythm, followed my tune. What if that works on a larger scale? You think you can control our planetary defense crystals?" An elderly council member asked. "Impossible. They are too powerful, too complex." "Not control," Daeho corrected. "Cooperate with them. Work together." Velnara's skin brightened with sudden hope. "Grandfather, it could work. The ancient texts speak of the Crystal Symphony, when all stones sang as one voice. But we lost that knowledge centuries ago." Commander Yoon stepped forward. "What do you need from us?" Mordane hesitated, looking between the approaching enemy ships and the strange humans who had already surprised him so much. "If this fails, we all die. The Velcorians show no mercy. If we don't try, you die anyway," Park So-young pointed out. Another messenger arrived, skin flashing panic red. "The enemy will reach our atmosphere in 20 minutes. Decide now," Commander Yoon urged. Mordane's skin went through rapid color changes as he thought. Finally, it settled on determined purple. "Tell me what you need." "Access to your main crystal network," Daeho said. "And everyone needs to stay calm. If the crystals feel fear and anger, they won't listen to music." "How can we stay calm when death approaches?" someone called out. "Because humans are here to help," Velnara said firmly. Her skin glowed with confident gold. "They passed the trials. They proved their hearts are true. Within minutes they were racing through crystal tunnels toward the city's central control chamber. Daeho's mind worked frantically, trying to remember everything he'd learned about Cytherian crystal resonance. The control chamber was a vast dome filled with singing crystals of every size and color, each one connected to defensive systems across the planet. The sound was overwhelming, a chaos of different notes and rhythms. "How do I interface with them?" Daeho asked. An elderly Cytherian technician gestured to a crystal platform in the center. "Place your hands there. But be careful, the feedback could kill you." Commander Yoon grabbed Daeho's arm. "Are you sure about this?" "No," he admitted. "But it's the only chance they have." He stepped onto the platform and placed his palms against the warm crystal surface. Immediately, music flooded his mind. Thousands of crystals across the planet, all singing different songs, all fighting each other for dominance. Pain shot through his skull. The noise was too much, too chaotic. He almost pulled away, but then he heard something underneath the chaos. A rhythm. The planet itself had a heartbeat, steady and strong. Daeho began to hum, matching that deep planetary rhythm. Slowly, the nearest crystals started to follow his tune. Their wild singing calmed into harmony. "It's working," Park So-young whispered. Look at the readings. On the viewing screens, they could see crystal towers across the planet beginning to glow in sync. The chaotic energy was organizing into patterns. But the Velkorian ships were closer now, their weapons charging for attack. Faster, Daeho, Commander Yoon urged. He pushed harder, extending his influence to more crystals. Sweat ran down his face and his hands shook against the control crystal. The mental strain was enormous. Velnara suddenly stepped onto the platform beside him. Let me help. No, it's too dangerous. I know these crystals better than anyone, she said, placing her hands next to his. We can do this together. The moment her skin touched the crystal, something amazing happened. Her natural color changing ability amplified the musical signals. The crystals didn't just hear Daeho's rhythm, they could see Velnara's emotional harmony through her changing skin patterns. Together, they reached out to every crystal on the planet. Defensive towers that had been dormant for centuries began to sing. Ancient crystals buried deep in mountains added their voices to the growing symphony. Incredible, Mordain breathed. They're awakening the old network, powers we thought were lost forever. The first Velkorian ship fired its weapons at the Crystal City, but instead of destroying buildings, the energy was absorbed by the synchronized crystals and redirected harmlessly into space. The attackers fired again and again, their powerful weapons useless against the planet-wide crystal shield. Confused and frightened by the unexpected defense, the Velkorian fleet began to retreat. But Daeho and Velnara weren't finished. Working together, they turned the planetary crystals from shields into a massive communication array. A message reached out across space in pure harmonic language that every species could understand. The message was simple. This world is protected. This world has friends. Attack here, and you attack not just Catherians, but the alliance they owe. Share with humanity. The Velkorian ships fled, unwilling to face an unknown alien alliance. When the crystal song finally faded, Daeho collapsed to his knees. Velnara caught him before he could fall, her skin glowing with exhausted but happy colors. We did it, she whispered. We saved everyone. The control chamber erupted in celebration. Catherians flashed brilliant colors of joy and relief. Some were crying tears that looked like liquid starlight. Grandfather Mordain approached the platform, slowly, his ancient face showing wonder. In one day, you have given us back our greatest defense and shown us new possibilities we never imagined. Commander Yoon helped Daeho to his feet. How do you feel? Like my brain was turned inside out, he admitted, but also connected. I could feel the whole planet singing. And I could feel your human heart, Velnara added softly. Your determination to protect people you barely know. Your willingness to risk everything for others. Park So-young was studying the crystal readings with fascination. The energy patterns you two created are completely new. It's like you invented a new form of technology by accident. Not by accident, Mordain said. By bringing together two different kinds of intelligence, Catherian harmony and human creativity. He turned to address the entire chamber. Today we learned that the universe is stranger and more wonderful than we knew. These humans came to us by accident, spoke our sacred words by mistake, and saved our world by doing things we thought impossible. The crowd of Catherians began to sing, not with crystals but with their own voices. It was a song of welcome, of friendship, of new beginnings. As the beautiful alien voices filled the chamber, Daeho realized that his language mistake had led to something incredible. Not just trade between worlds, but the start of a true partnership between species. Looking at Velnara's glowing skin and grateful smile, he thought maybe some mistakes were worth making. 6 months later, Daeho sat in his new office overlooking the crystal gardens. Through the tall windows, he could see human and Catherian children playing together in the purple grass. Their laughter mixed with the gentle songs of the garden, crystals creating music that would have been impossible before first contact. A soft knock at his door interrupted his thoughts. Come in, he called in Catherian, still proud that he rarely made mistakes anymore. Velnara entered, carrying a stack of translation documents. Her skin showed the happy golden colors that had become familiar to him over the months. She wore a necklace of small earth flowers preserved in crystal, a gift from his mother during her recent visit. "The council approved our latest project," she announced, setting the papers on his desk. 20 more Catherian students will join the exchange program on Earth." "That's wonderful news," Deho replied, switching to English for her practice. "Your English gets better every day." Her skin flickered with pleased pink patterns. "Your Catherian is perfect now too." Well, almost perfect. They had been working together every day since the Velkorian attack, creating the first human Catherian cultural exchange program. What had started as damage control after his language mistake had grown into something amazing. "I still can't believe how much has changed," Deho said, looking at photos on his desk. One showed him and Commander Yoon at the official treaty signing. Another captured Park So-young teaching Catherian children about earth plants. His favorite showed his parents visiting the Crystal City, his mother wearing traditional Korean clothes while his father tried to sing along with the musical fountains. "Change was necessary," Velnara said, settling into the chair across from his desk. "Before you came, we were afraid of the universe. We thought we were alone with our beauty and our enemies. And now?" Her skin glowed warmly. "Now we know that beauty exists in many forms, that friendship can grow from the strangest seeds, that mistakes can lead to miracles." Deho smiled. Over the months, their relationship had developed naturally from the dramatic circumstances of first contact. Not the instant romance that Grandfather Mordain had feared, but something deeper and more real. They were partners in building something entirely new, a bridge between worlds. "Speaking of miracles," Velnara continued, "I have news from the outer colonies. Good news, I hope. The best. 3 more species have requested to join our alliance. The Velkorians' retreat has made everyone curious about the singing world and its human friends." Deho leaned back in his chair, amazed. 3 more species. When I made that first mistake with your name, I never imagined it would lead to this." "Velthara was not a mistake," Velnara corrected gently. "It was destiny finding its way through language barriers." Before he could respond, his communication crystal chimed with an incoming message. Commander Yoon's face appeared in the crystal's surface, calling from Earth. "Deho." "Perfect timing," she said. "I'm calling with incredible news. What's happening on Earth? The UN just approved funding for 50 more exchange students, both directions, and 3 major universities want to establish permanent research stations here on Catheria." "That's amazing. It gets better. Remember Dr. Kim from the Linguistics Department? He's been analyzing the data from your Crystal Symphony experience. He thinks the harmonic patterns you and Velnara created could revolutionize interspecies communication." Velnara moved closer to the crystal so Commander Yoon could see her. "Hello, Jiwoo. How is life on Earth?" "Strange and wonderful, just like life on Catheria. Although I miss the singing fountains." They talked for a few more minutes about practical matters. Shipping schedules for the next exchange group, security protocols for the research stations, and preparations for the first interspecies cultural festival. After the call ended, Deho and Velnara sat in comfortable silence, watching the children play outside. "Do you ever regret it?" she asked suddenly. "Regret what?" "Leaving Earth. Staying here with us instead of going home with your ship." Deho considered the question seriously. He did miss Earth sometimes. Korean food, his old friends, the familiar sights of Seoul. But when he looked at what they were building together, "No regrets," he said firmly. "This is where I belong now. Building bridges, making connections, helping our species understand each other." "And us?" Velnara asked, her skin showing nervous purple flickers. "Do you regret how we began?" He reached across the desk and took her hand. Her skin was warm and soft, and it shifted to happy gold at his touch. "Especially not that," he said, "though I still can't believe that one mispronounced word led to all this." She laughed, the sound like silver bells. "My grandfather says the universe has a sense of humor. It takes our mistakes and turns them into exactly what we need. A new knock at the door interrupted them. This time it was Grandfather Mordain himself, looking more energetic than Deho had seen him in months. "Ah, good. You're both here," the elderly Catherian said, his skin showing excited yellow patterns. "I have a proposal for you." "What kind of proposal?" Velnara asked. "The Galactic Council has heard about our alliance. They want to invite Earth and Catheria to join as member species." Deho's jaw dropped. "The Galactic Council? But Earth just made first contact 6 months ago." "Exactly. And in 6 months you've prevented a war, created new technology, and brought together species that have been enemies for centuries. They're impressed." Velnara's skin cycled through amazed colors. "This is incredible, Grandfather. But are we ready for such responsibility? Are any of us ever ready for the future?" Mordain replied. "But I think humans and Catherians together might be exactly what the galaxy needs." He handed them a crystal containing official documents. "Take time to discuss it. But know that I believe in what you've built here, both of you." After he left, Deho stared at the crystal in his hands. 6 months ago, I was just a language specialist who made mistakes. Now they want our planet to join a galactic government. You were never just anything," Velnara said firmly. "You were a bridge waiting to be built. Your mistakes were really connections waiting to happen." They spent the rest of the day walking through the Crystal City, talking about the future and watching the results of their accidental partnership. Human engineers worked alongside Catherian architects to design new buildings. Hybrid technologies that combined Earth science with Catherian harmonics powered clean energy systems. Children from both species played games that mixed human imagination with Catherian music. As the twin suns set over the crystal towers, they stood on a balcony overlooking the city. The crystals began their evening song, a gentle melody that helped Catherians sleep peacefully. "Do you think we'll accept the Council's invitation?" Velnara asked. "I think we have to," Deho replied. "If we've learned anything, it's that the universe is full of surprises. Maybe other species are making the same kinds of beautiful mistakes we made." She moved closer to him, her skin glowing with contented colors. "I love how humans think, always finding hope in chaos. And I love how Catherians feel everything so completely. You wear your hearts on your skin." They stood together as the stars appeared overhead, two beings from different worlds who had accidentally found each other and deliberately chosen to build something amazing together. In the distance, the communication crystals began relaying messages between Earth and Catheria, routine reports, personal letters, research data, and plans for the future. The steady flow of information was proof that what had started with one confused word had grown into permanent connection between species. "Velthara," Deho said softly, using the word that had changed everything. Velnara's skin bloomed with golden light. "Say it again, human." He smiled and pulled her close. "Velthara, my beautiful partner in this strange, wonderful universe." As the Crystal City sang its evening lullaby around them, they began planning for tomorrow's work, building bridges, making connections, and proving that the best things in life often begin with the most unexpected mistakes.